All right, Kenman here, and today it is time for some more sweet shipwreck action. Let's go. If you haven't seen a shipwreck before or don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain as I go. But here is a couple examples. We are going to do a forced patina on some brass and some copper. So chemically altering the surface to create these different colors, patterns, and styles of shipwreck. I have another one of those exact Rough Riders. I just tape up the blade just to help kind of protect it, make it easier to kind of grab if we're prepping this. This one in particular, I have fingerprints all over it. I've been kind of touching it up and adding to it to try to see if I can make that have an effect on what we're gonna do to it today. Don't know if it will or not. I have a Rough Ryder Apta right here in copper that was more like this when I got it, but just handling it on the table and checking it out here and there the last few weeks, it's already gotten its own natural patina. I'm going to go in there and kind of rough that up and make it a little less uniform. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this, right? Okay, I have a board can use to take these apart. I'm not taking this one apart. It is pinned, so there's nothing you can really do. Shipwrecking will only affect brass and copper, so the blade and everything doesn't really have anything to worry about. But in a case like this, we can take it apart. It's a little bit better. I believe having it open was easier last time. All right, this will not take long. And then we have body screw down here. Be careful, there is a blade. I like to get both sides going. Sometimes the center will stick, which it might be doing right now. Maybe not. If so, we'll just have to get a pliers to get that out. Okay, we are there. Is this this must be the screw. Of course, we're having struggles. Can't get the screw to fall out. There we go. That's going to help us out here. There's pressure against that. I remember, I think there was less pressure when the blade was open. The last one came apart much easier. Here we are. All right, we've done it. Boom, boom. Don't lose the stuff. There's the washers, pivot. There's that. And we just need to pull that out. And then it's this right here that I may need to get. Yeah, I'm going to need to get a pliers for that. So I am going to go grab a pliers, and then we're going to move to the next step and get these cleaned up. Okay, I'll wipe these off to just get some of this excess oil off before it gets on something else just while we can. I'm going to get it on my hand and then touch something else here. Okay, so we have our treble screw. I'm just going to grab that from the back here. Nice and tight. Oops, wrong one. And hope that works. Yep, we're good. There we go. And that thing is in there. Got it. Alright, be careful. Generally those are big enough you're not really going to dent them or anything, but you want to be careful not to squeeze too hard or whatever in case it is like an aluminum piece or something that you might potentially damage. Alright, we are good. Let's get our parts out of the way for now. Safekeeping over there. And now we can finish prepping these up. I've been, like I said, just touching this, letting it just get all fingerprinted up. And hopefully that will aid in our patina. We may never notice. But maybe we'll see some finger lines that get, or fingerprint lines that get burned in. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. I have these Sabatoru stones. They're like a brass polishing, rust tarnish removing stone. And I'll show you on the back here. See, they just polished that area right up. So we're gonna not do too much on here. I kind of like what's happening already, but I do like how the top is different. So I'm gonna kind of go in on the sides here in random ways and try to just change these a little bit. Not too crazy, since we are gonna shipwreck it anyway. That's gonna cover it a lot, but this patina that's already there is gonna affect the other stuff that's going on. So you see what I did right there, just kind of hit it in a few spots, nothing too much, kind of just a soft rub. If you do leave crazy lines and stuff, they do show up, so I'm kind of doing a real light finish here just to kind of remove any. Sometimes you want some blast lines or some stuff like that, and that'll look fine. Try this a little different technique. Just really light the whole way and kind of see what areas start popping out first. Sometimes that's the fun, just naturally letting things occur rather than being specific. Oh, I want a line here and I want a line there. You can do it however you want. That's there's nothing wrong with that either. If you really want to control the way it looks a little bit more, although the more I've learned in shipwrecking, the more you have to fight the urge to control and allow it to kind of do some stuff on its own, because you are gonna learn quick that you can have some control to an extent, but not as much as you think you'd like, maybe. Well, it depends. All right, what do we think? Marked them up, dulled them out a little bit, polished them in a few areas, maybe even these lines out just a little more. Kind of a blending in a way, I guess, if you will. And I will. All right, we've done it. We've got it. Let's move on. We could really try to clean these up. I've taken most of the ones I've done and just polished them super smooth, like just like this, and then let the patina do the rest. But this is a natural patina we've been getting just from oils and touching and having this knife for like a month. So it'll be interesting to see how that incorporates with what we're doing here. All right, next step. We have our container. I am also going to reuse the container with the chemicals. I have a bunch of paper towels in here. We're in a nice ventilated area. These paper towels have salt and ammonia and other chemicals and stuff in there. I am going to dump a little more ammonia. The ammonia is the active ingredient. It's creating these vapors that are moving around and causing everything to do its deal. Apply the ammonia liberally there. All right, I have some other chemicals, vinegar being one of them. I like to hit that in a couple little spots. We have some soy sauce. What do all these do? Who knows for sure? but it's fun. And we're trying something else today. I've got coffee grounds, right? If anything, the coffee grounds are going to kind of act as a resist, versus some things will attract salts. Here's some regular table salt. Get some of that in there. I've got some rock salt just for a little variety. Woo! And be careful not to breathe it in. Okay, so let's see. This one, we kind of want more just vapors hitting it. So I'm going to shift this over. And we're just going to, ooh, it's kind of long. I guess we're going to go right up the center with that. And I'm not going to have the paper towels touch it. Well, you know what? We should maybe, we're just, this is the natural experiment. Just give it a couple little slams on both sides in there, right? See what that does. And then we're just going to set it like that. Set it, forget it. These, we're going to do a little bit more stuff too here. Got some Q-tips. Little bit of should I just do them both at the same time here? Little vinegar syndrome. And then a little ammonia. Maybe let them mix together even. That's fine. Come over here with some soy sauce, which does have salt in it. So you got to think that the salt is having some type of an effect. Speaking of which, boom, 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 boom. Got a bunch of liquid on there right now. We're going to try dabbing a little of that coffee grounds on there again. Is this a good idea? Is this a bad idea? I know a lot of liquid tends to be not as good, but we'll see. All right, there we are. That is the amount of stuff that is on it currently. It will change because we're going to have it in here, and this bed has these different wrinkles and folds and creases, so when it sits on there, it is not uniform. All right, let's get this right like so. And we're good. All right, now try not to make a mess. Don't spill weird stuff all over the studio here. Now we're gonna leave this, for at least 12 to 24 hours and let it do its thing. So all we can do now is wait, maybe some last minute fun. Put a couple pieces of coffee right there just to have them, right? Here's that thing where you start playing, where it's like, how much playing? Let it go. All right, so we are good. We're gonna seal this up. If it's looking interesting every couple hours on the side, maybe I'll take a video or something, but other than that, we're just gonna let this sit for at least 12 hours and then we'll check on it from there. It has been about 24 hours. We're really going for it. I decided just to leave it in, do my thing for the day, and then just check on it now. What did we get? So I didn't let this get touched by much. Kind of interesting. We might have to go back in, but maybe that'll be a good look. So it doesn't give us exactly what it's going to look like right now. We have to basically wipe all this off. Some of this, if I go like that, you'll see there's some blue right there. So it looks like there's blue on there, but in reality, some of it is going to come off. Ooh, nice. Look at all the moisture in here. That is a lot. Makes me wonder how much of this is actually going to stay on. That coffee chunks got all over the place. All right, I'm gonna seal this back up. I have some paper towels, wipe my hands off. We are gonna dry these, take a look. Let me hold them up here quick. Let you see. Definitely gonna look different once we dry this off. This has kind of a lighter, weird, smoky area. I wonder what that is gonna look like after we clean this off. Okay, so I'm gonna go get some warm water, get them in there, get them cleaned off. We'll take another look. Excellent stuff. I am pleased. These are dry. Look at the finish, all these little colors. That coffee was a good idea. It left some of these black kind of charred marks in a few spots. I'm going to put some clear coat, I think, on here. I'll show you why in a moment. We are going to put this one back in. Interesting stuff going on, but I want to develop some more. Look at this. So we could just leave this as is and let it continue to patina as I carry it. But we could also clear coat it. And if I put the clear coat, it's not going to be super shiny, but look at the difference in those colors. Really makes those oranges and blues pop a little bit. So I think I am going to just throw just a nice little clear coat on here. I like the way this looks. I'm going to get my table all wet here. So yeah, well, I'm going to clear coat these up. We're going to put this one back in, give it some more treatment, and continue to evolve it. So take a look at where we're at here after 24 hours. It is kind of chalky right here, which is interesting. But we're just going to get it in there and get crazy with it here. All right. I'm actually going to move these around a little bit and try to bury this a little bit more in there like that. So it's touching a lot more of the surface, a lot more ability for the stuff to do things. I'm going to try to drop some coffee down in there just for some extra spots. All right. And we're going to seal that up and let it go for another day or maybe just 12 hours, and we'll check on it again. And we'll clear these up. All right. I have let this sit for another 24 hours. Let's see what we're looking at now, huh? Ooh, look at that. Okay, all right. I like what's going on here. I'm going to seal this back up. We're going to dry this thing off here and check it out. All right. I'm pretty happy. This definitely looks a lot different than it did before. This big splotch came out of nowhere. All right, gonna dry this off, wipe it off, dry it off, and see what to do. All right, we've done it. This one is all complete. Kind of a softer, lighter color, lighter blues on here than usual. Really nice little Rough Ryder Lockback. Shows you that you can get a lot of variety with the Shipwreck just in these three. They're all the same knife, but look at how different they are. Each unique. Each has its own kind of style. Shipwrecking is fun. You add certain things more than the others. More salt, less salt. You can get quite the variety of styles. What do we think of this most recent one here? I am happy with it. Also very happy with this right here. These look great. Here's a couple other ones that I did. These have texture on them, so that texture really kind of, I feel like, gets in the way of the Shipwreck, kind of. They look great. I'm happy with them. But something about a smooth surface kind of helps accent the Shipwreck even more. Maybe it's just me. I like them all. They're fun. Let's put it back together. See if I can do this. Okay, so let's start off right on the right foot, or my left foot. Okay, pop those all in there. Then the spring can go on there like so. Washer, here's the blade. Gonna kind of bend that. Oop, don't drop that too far. Got it. Gonna kind of push back with the spring with my thumb here a little bit and try to wiggle the blade in like that. Got it. All right. Get the other. Okay. Then I found if you put that one in like that, and then twist until that one goes in. Okay. Then notice these two are now in, but that is not. So then you got to kind of push this way against that spring and get that to click in, which I haven't done yet. I think though I've had problems in the back before here. I'm going to go ahead and just get these seated. You don't have to worry about blade centering quite as much with a slip joint as you do with a like a frame lock or a button lock or something like that. Still want to think about the centering, so I'm not going to really crank these down. I'm just going to get them to a point where they're there so that doesn't really slip out. And then we're going to try to pop this over. And remember that there is a blade right there. Last couple that I did here worked a lot easier. There we went, that got it. See, now the pivot is centered. Switch to the T8. And be careful when you tighten it in. You want to make sure it's seated correctly. If it isn't and you crank down hard, you might damage something. It's a captive pivot or something like that. In this case, there isn't. Okay, we'll go ahead and crank these down. All right. And then I tighten that up so much so I can bring that back a little. There we are. We've done it. Blade is back in the middle where it's supposed to be. Solid when it's open. That's where you want to worry. Make sure it's not real loose or any play when it's open. And there it is. Let's get this out of the way. Line these all up. Woo! Shipwreck City. I love it here on the KDK network. It's one of my favorite things to do. Here's those textured ones again and our finished new one. Ooh, definitely happy with this. These are all the Rough Ryder Aptas, if you remember, or I talked about at the beginning of the video. VG10 and then this copper turned out great with that Shipwreck. Comment below, what do you think about it? And we've got this one as well, the little Rough Ryder Lockback. Good stuff, great times. More shipwrecks to come in the future, guaranteed. Stay sharp. We'll see you soon.